of the bilateral relations of countries, that's 35 countries, including Australia, with the Philippines. It is great to be back, and at the same time, also to be with you as one of the first few engagements I have with the Filipino and Australian communities. JIL is not new to me, as I mentioned to some of your pastors, because the first time I got my Foreign Service posting in London, it was the JIL that I also first met. And when I was moved to Hong Kong, I was invited in the discipleship graduation of your people at the JIL. So I know for a fact that JIL had been very constructive, a group in terms of linking the community together and with the host countries that they are in. I had always been a firm believer that we Filipinos, when we journey, the first thing that we do is to keep our faith and make sure that we practice it wherever we are. In fact, it is really something amazing, because when I was in China, the church there is not with the Vatican, rather it is a state-controlled church. But you would see Filipinos going to the churches, that is, even if it was the pre-Vatican service that were given. And they would continue to pray and come religiously on Sundays for masses. Until a point when they had to tell my husband, who was then the Consul General, that there was some sort of a spiritual dryness, that they wanted something to be able to exercise their faith. And by God's grace, the Bishop of Guangzhou allowed a mass, an English mass, to be said at the cathedral. But it was after a lot of arrangements with government and certain conditionalities that had to be met. They were a bit easy, but then I think it was quite, should we say, a delight for all of us to have been able to start a church or a mass in the cathedral, where the Filipinos were able to come in, the diplomats started coming in, and then all the rest of the expat communities were coming in. The only exception they had, or the condition they had, was no Chinese to be allowed in that church. But it flourished, it continued until now. So this is where we see the Filipinos, even in London, even in Hong Kong, where churches started to fail and had very few mosque-goers and members of the congregation. I think when the Filipino diaspora came, many of the churches became alive. And I think this is also one that we would like to see ourselves as people who will continue to bring in the faith. Faith comes in various ways. Our faith in the religion, but the way we live our faith is most important. That is, we really have to put Christ at the center of our lives, and that what we do really is in praise of Him. And this is also how I look at my mission as a member of the diplomatic corps. Mine will not just be to carry on bilateral links, but especially to link people and make them all together realize our oneness under Christ's leadership. Today, I congratulate you, because with your fortitude, with your diligence, you are able to get a place for yourself where you can do your worship. It is important. I know in JIL, also in London, the first place that we used to meet the congregation when I got invited was a warehouse. But before I left, they were able to get a building for themselves. In the same way in Hong Kong, I think I have seen how you as a community work, and I congratulate you. I encourage you to continue. And also, as some of you may have taken on citizenship as Australians, that should not deter you from continuing your relationships with the rest of the Filipinos and the rest of the Australian society. I think we need a common voice, we need a unified community, we need a peaceful world, and we can only do that if we are united in love and united in the belief that there is God. So thank you very much and congratulations.